Good evening and welcome to Feed Yourself Well. Tonight's recipe is all about the best keto pork chop. So we're going to do a keto style pork chop that we're going to bake in the oven. I had this recipe a few weeks ago and it was done with chicken and it was really moist and juicy and the flavor was awesome. So we're going to do it with a pork chop tonight though. And the secret to making it keto is all about some pork skins, if you can imagine. Just regular pork skins. You don't have to get the flavored ones. They got just enough salt, so you don't need to add a lot of salt to it. But we're going to take them and put them right into a food processor. To do 4 pork chops, it's going to take maybe anywhere from an 8 to a 12 ounce size bag. Depending on how big your pork chops are, I would say 12 ounces because I got some pretty nice butcher's cut pork chops that we're going to use for this recipe tonight. So just a couple quick spins. You're going to get a nice powdery crumb. That's what you want. That's going to become the coating for our pork chops. And I got some already done. I'm going to go ahead, put that to the side. And I've already done these so they're ready to go. And I'm going to season them just with a Creole seasoning blend that has very little salt in it. So it's not a lot of salt here because these ground up pork skins are going to bring salt to the party. That's about 2 tablespoons of Creole seasoning. And I'm just going to combine it with the fork. Just like that. Just toss the seasoning all the way through. Nice, nice, nice. We're going to call these Keto Creole pork chops since we pumped them up with a little bit of Creole seasoning tonight. Alright, so the crumb's done. That's going to be our coating. I'm going to set that back to the side. And we're going to head over to our side dish tonight. Actually, it's going to be our topping for our pork chop. We're going to make some Corn Maque Choux. So, if you've never had Corn Maque Choux, it's full of flavor. It's fresh corn that we just sliced right off of the cob, right down the side. You get 4 good strokes of the knife, and you're going to take all those kernels right off the cob. So this is fresh corn. We also have some Trinity, which is a combination of celery, bell pepper, and onion. And I added a little bit of orange bell pepper that I had left over for a little note of sweetness to it. So I'm going to add that as well. I've got a little bit of garlic that's going to go in that's been minced up. I've got some heavy whipping cream. I don't know if you guys can see that, but heavy whipping cream is going to finish it. To make it mine, I'm going to add in some grated Parmesan cheese. That's going to add a nice flavor note to it as well. And we're going to hit it with a Cajun seasoning blend. So we got Creole and the pork chop and Cajun going in the Corn Maque Choux. So I'm going to add a little fat to our hot pan. That's just a little bit of bacon dripping. That's going to add a really nice flavor. So we got that in. And we're going to let that get good and hot. In we'll go with our aromatics first, right? We're building layers of flavor for the maque choux. So the onions, the celery, and the bell pepper is all going to start to sway. Again, we don't want a lot of color on them. We just want to get the onions translucent so that we can start layering in flavor. Just by warming them up, warming the vegetables up, they're going to start to release a lot of their flavor. And we want them to maintain a little bit of that color. We got some nice color working. We don't want to leach out all the color. So we want to keep some of that color in the dish. So, minced garlic in. That was 3 cloves of minced garlic. And I would say about a cup total of Trinity. You need about half a cup of onion, 1/4 cup of celery, and 1/4 cup of bell pepper to make that 1 cup of Trinity for the recipe. It's already starting to smell good. That's what we wanted to do. And I'm going to add in that nice fresh corn. If you get a little bit of silk in there, that's okay. That's just let us know that it's all nice and fresh ingredients. Just going to give that a stir. So I get everybody coated with a little bit of that residual fat that's in the pan. I'm going to spread it out evenly. I'm going to go ahead and season it. That's a little Cajun seasoning going right in. A quick turn. Then nice and even over the bottom of the pan. Now, I'm going to reduce the heat of this to medium, and I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let those vegetables cook and do their thing. While that's happening, I'm going to head back over to our pork chops. So, our first step for coating the pork chops is going to be a simple marinade. And the marinade is a combination of 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and 1 heaping tablespoon of mayonnaise. That's going in there. And all I'm going to do is whisk everybody together so they become one. You could easily double this if you have more pork chops, or if you want to do enough for a big family. Just up the ingredients of everything. Add another egg, another tablespoon of mayonnaise, a couple more tablespoons of Dijon, and you're just increasing the volume. Okay, so I've got everything combined, ready to go. And I'm going to set this to the side. Now, for the next step, I'm going to use a pair of gloves. Because I'm going to go ahead and take the pork chops, dip them down into the marinade. Busted glove, but that's okay. The fingers are good. I'm going to dip it into the marinade and then coat it with the crumb. And I'm going to bake them at 325 degrees on a rack on top of a cookie sheet for about 45 minutes. That's about how long it takes. These pork chops are at least a solid inch thick. So it's a nice sized pork chop, and I want to make sure it's cooked all the way to the bone. Okay? So first we're going to take our pork chops, coat both sides of the marinade, make sure we get everything coated. Oh yeah, that looks good. Just kind of spread it out evenly. We're going to shake off any excess, because we don't want to add too much excess to it. And we're going to go right into those crushed up and seasoned pork skins. And we're just going to add the coating generously over both sides of the pork chop. Just give it a little pat. You want to make sure everything's sticking. Shake off any excess, and we're going to lay that pork chop right on a baking sheet, and we're going to repeat the process. So I've got another pork chop. I can get rid of this parchment paper. Like I said, nice thick butcher cut pork chops right down into the marinade. Coat both sides evenly. Make sure you get every corner covered. Shake off the excess. Just rub it in anywhere you don't see coverage. Let's get all that off of there. And I'm going to move this bowl to the side. Bring back my crumb plate. And back on top we go with the crumb. Who would have thought pork skins on top of a pork chop? Seems a little redundant, but they're already in the same family, so you might as well make it work. And the flavor, man, it's unbelievable. I thought the chicken that I had been fried. When I found out it was done in the oven, I was blown away. Again, shake off the excess. We got a nice, beautiful pork chop. And I'm going to take these guys and stick them into the 325-degree oven. In they go. I'm going to throw my gloves out. I don't need those rascals anymore. And we're going to go back and check on our Corn Maque Choux. Okay, so we got some nice steam coming up off the corn. Everything's cooking nice and evenly. We don't want to overcook. You know, I'm not a fan of mushy, overcooked vegetables. I think they should really just be sauteed nicely to release their natural flavors and still have some textural component to it. I don't want them to taste mushy. I like everything to have just that tender, crisp, fresh crunch that we like from fresh vegetables. That's why we eat them. They have great flavor. Okay, so this is in a good place. I'm going to go ahead and add that half a cup of whipping cream and just stir everybody together. And I'm going to go ahead and add in our Parmesan cheese. This is just simple grated Parmesan cheese. Any brand will do. Oh, this smells amazing. Traditionally, it doesn't have the Parmesan cheese. I just thought it really woke up everything and added a nice dimension to the Corn Maque Choux. Man, that looks delicious. Okay, so we're in a great place. I'm going to shut the fire off completely. And that's ready. I've got a separate bowl, and I'm just going to spoon some into a bowl, and we're going to garnish this over our pork chops. Alright, so Corn Maque Choux is done, and I'm going back over to the pork chops, and we're going to grab some that we have already prepared and pull those guys out of the oven. Okay, so there's our Corn Maque Choux. I'm going to grab the pork chops. These pork chops look absolutely delicious. They're golden brown. They've got a nice crunch look to them. That's what we want to go for. I'm going to grab a pair of tongs. And I'm going to be a little extra because I want this plate to really look nice. And I'm going to stack 2 pork chops on top of each other. Just like that. So if you were serving dinner for 2, you could bring them to the table. Just like that. I'm going to come back and take my Corn Maque Choux, and I'm just going to pour it right over the top of those pork chops. Oh yeah. Wow, that was quick. This is a great recipe. It was super easy to do. I'm going to tilt the plate so you guys can get a better look at it. We'll be sure to add some pictures at the end. But this is the Corn Maque Choux over the Keto Creole pork chop. I'm sure it's going to be super tender. I'm going to taste this one. I've got an extra one here. Then I'm going to cut a piece off on. And just take a taste. Let me grab a knife. And a fork. And I'm just going to take a little corner piece. Oh man, that pork chop looks delicious. The Keto Creole pork chop is a hit. Amazing, juicy, tender, full of flavor. So be sure, follow, turn on the notifications, subscribe to Feed Yourself Well. Comment below. Let us know what you want to see. We still got a lot more vegan, seafood. We're going to do a fried chicken video that's going to knock your socks off. So be sure to check in with us. This is tonight's dinner. The Keto Creole pork chop with corn maque choux. Remember, feed yourselves well.